everything. Oh, right.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Okay. If I turn my fan on, can you guys hear it? It's just like a little ceiling fan, but I don't want to. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. All right. Do you want to do an intro? Do you want us to do the intro? How do you want to do it?
This is your video. I'm here as a guest.
Okay.
The best guest ever.
Oh, well. Okay, there we go. Ready? Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Hi, everyone.
Guest today, Zowoki is back after, I think it's been about almost a year since we have recorded with you.
Shut up. It's been that long?
Yeah, because last time we were looking at doing another collab was right around the time my uncle passed away.
You guys had a funeral.
And so, yeah, it'll be a year at the beginning of May that my uncle passed. So I was
almost a year.
Yeah. So I was, yeah, I wasn't living at home at that time. I was, up in the mountains and things were crazy. So, yeah, so it's good to see you again.
As you ladies.
Yeah. But we wanted to have you on today because we wanted to share, we wanted to talk about a story with you. And it's the story of Maura Murray, which is a story from 2004. And she is a missing person. She has never been found to this day. So 21 years later. Her sister Julie has been very public. She has her own podcast. She's been on multiple different podcasts. She's done interviews.
I'm trying to get the story out there. I think it's called like Media Pressure is her podcast.
Yeah.
And she tells her side of the story. It's actually really interesting because she kind of takes it from her own, like what happened the day of the phone call, because she was actually overseas, because she was in the military, and she takes it from a very personal perspective. So it's kind of like unusual for podcasts, because we're kind of third party, but it's first party. So it was really pretty cool.
So yeah, so there've been multiple documentaries on it. I know Oxygen, I believe it was Oxygen did one called The Disappearance of Maura Murray. It's a pretty popular case, well-known case in the true crime community. So and it's been one that's always just kind of stuck in my head over the years, and has always just pops back up like, man, I wonder what's going on. I wonder what's going on. So
it bothers you.
It does. It's just like,
like, why haven't they found a body? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Nicole Kessinger thing with you. Like, it's in your head all the time, And so Shannon.
And there's been lots of, there's been lots and lots of theories on what happened to her. If she actually left on her own and she lives in Canada, people claim they had sightings of her over the years. There's been lots of different theories, like her boyfriend, like it's just a lot of different theories on what happened to her the day she disappeared, because she just kind of up and left from her dorm. She lied to her professors because she was a nursing student, saying that she was heading to a funeral for a family member and that she had to take about a week off. And the family says there was no family member who died. She wasn't there. She was going to the UMass University, and they found her car in New Hampshire. So the family has no clue where she was heading, what was going on. She looked like she was just packing for a weekend, not to be gone forever. But there's a ton of theories. But go ahead, take it away, Gina. This is.
I was going to say too, ladies, can I read the small little description so the people that are watching can kind of just know quickly?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the more how do you say her name? Maury or
Maura?
Maura. Okay.
Maura Murray.
So Maura Murray on Monday, 2/9/2004 at approximately 7:30 p.m. a black colored Saturn 4-door sedan vehicle belonging to 21-year-old Maura traveling on Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire and became stuck. The roads in the area of the northern New Hampshire were snow covered at the time and was hard to get through. Maury was not present at the crash scene when, so she crashed.
Yeah,
and
she hit a snowbank.
Okay. And was not been seen or heard from since. Maury was last seen on a surveillance footage earlier in the day at the ATM wearing a dark jacket and jeans. Prior to that, Maury had left the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, where she was studying nursing. Maury did not share with others her pending trip to New Hampshire, which was about 2.5 hours away from where she was doing school. Maury received prior education at the United States Military Academy at West Point, like you guys said, was an avid runner, enjoyed hiking in the White Mountains, an progressive impression on what she might look like today is released on her missing persons picture. So if you guys want to take a look at that, just type in her name and you'll see it. So
the family does not believe that she took off and has not contacted them over the years. They believe that something has happened to her, that she is not a person who would leave the family and just not contact them over the years.
My question is, did she have a boy or a girl that she was seeing?
She had a boyfriend that she was currently seeing. There was some stories about how she recently found out he cheated on her. That's why she had to like blow some steam off. When she traveled up there, like Gina had said, she had hit a snowbank. The car was facing the opposite way. There was a bus driver in the area who did pull over. Then there's houses around where she went. So people saw her. They knew that she had crashed. Some people called 911 and let them know that she was there. So this bus driver came by, asked her if she needed help. She said no, she was a little shaken up, but she had already called AAA. And he thought that was not really quite true because there was no cell service in that area at all for cell phones. So he kind of didn't believe her. So people think that maybe she was meeting somebody, maybe that something like she knew somebody that was coming. Mm-hmm. But she said she didn't need help from him. And within the time that she talked to him and he left and went to go call the cops, and by the time the cops got there, it was like minutes. I don't want to be incorrect, but I want to say maybe like a 7-minute window of time where she was there and then she wasn't there. Just that short period of time. And it looked like she locked up the car, grabbed whatever she needed at the time, but was coming back. Because her purse was still in the car, right? Her wallet that she left, and it looked like she was going to come back, but
did she leave her cell phone?
That I don't know. That I don't remember. I'm sure we knew at one point, but I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
Well, this was 2004, so we had the Nokias.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Who knows? If she had because she did say she called AAA, so she had to have had a phone. Yeah. So, but they said there was
cell reception. So
yeah.
I'm just wondering if they were able to, because they were still able to ping, just not as well nowadays. They could see like a what was it, 5-mile radius of where the phone might be, but yeah. We're rambling on. So Gina,
it's a big mystery. It's a big mystery of where she went, but the story's been spotlighted back in the news again because Gina will take it from here. But
okay.
So there's we have a listener that we might have got from you. I don't know. Her name is Pressy, I believe. Okay. And so she messages us pretty frequently on Instagram and says, hey, check out this case, check out that case. And so a week or 2 weeks ago, she sent us it came across as just like a news article, and it just said new break in the Maura Murray case. And then underneath it had a picture of this gentleman. So I didn't put 2 and 2 together that this picture she was showing me was the actual person that they thought was a suspect.
Okay.
Because I know him. And
Thank
so
you.
I looked at the picture and I thought to myself, how does she know that I know him? Because I don't know this woman. Like, this is just a listener. Like, I don't.
Or did she not know that you knew him?
She didn't know.
She
But
didn't know.
playing in my head when I just opened the message, and I wasn't putting the two together that, like, oh, this is the guy that this article is about.
She just thought like, oh, she messaged me about this case. And then, oh, how does she know I know this guy down here? She thought it was like two separate messages.
Yeah.
She's probably like, wait a minute, hold on, who's that?
Yeah. So I was at work, and so I had to step out because I was like, hold on, like I need to open this message. So sure enough, he is the person that they suspect now has something to do with her disappearance.
They found his fingerprint in her car on a CD case. And there's actually a connection to him because he dated Maura Murray in West Point, when they went to West Point together before she got discharged from the university. For
So
some
both
other
military
things that
brats.
happened. So yeah, there's a little bit of military background on her, and that she got discharged. And he was actually her boyfriend before she met the current boyfriend that she was dating at the time.
Yeah.
And then there's another weird connection because his name is Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah.
Okay. And he actually, there was reports at the last party she attended that she was there with a guy named Stephanus, something like Stephanus or something with that NOS at the end. I don't know how to pronounce it really well, but people had reported like, oh, the last guy she was with before she disappeared was a guy named that nobody knew. He didn't go to the university, but his name was Stephanus or something like that, Stephanus. And so now they're saying, could it have been this Stephen Baldwin that was at that party?
So Stephen Baldwin was never affiliated with her as a boyfriend.
Yes, he was.
So, well,
he was
her previous. He dated her when they went to West.
Dated.
They dated.
I don't think that they're the more that I've like listened to things and tried to research their relationship, it sounds like they dated. They weren't actually like a couple per se. Where there wasn't like a oh, you're my girlfriend, I'm your boyfriend kind of thing, and like, oh,
casually dating,
like we we broke up now. There was none of that. But yes, I think they just casually dated each other, obviously knew of each other, had relations, whatever,
probably intimate.
Yeah. So this all came out because he 2 weeks ago was just sentenced to 15 and a half years in prison for animal cruelty. Which
Stephen Baldwin?
Correct. Yes. Which is where I know him from because I worked with him in animal rescue.
So he lived in Ohio. Was it Ohio or Iowa? Yeah. Ohio. So he was in Ohio. He started this dog rescue nonprofit organization where he told people he would rescue like dogs who were like known to be violent. He would rescue them. Yeah. And then he claimed that he would rehabilitate them and rehome them. So these owners who had them, like, let's say I had a dog who bit somebody, and so I had to give them up. And instead of them putting them to sleep, I gave them to this, rescue who
rehabilitated
for rehabilitation, and they would pay money to him to rehabilitate their animals. And then he claimed they would call and say, how's my dog? Oh, we placed him in a great home. He's doing well. Don't worry. In reality, he was killing them. And he was known to have euthanized about 80 dogs just in Ohio and over 100 cats. I'm really upset with this man. And then, so then when they were kind of catching on to him in Ohio, he moves out to California.
Yes, he does.
And this is where Gina works with rescues. Go ahead, Gina, with the rescues, because Gina is a big person in the dog rescue.
Yeah, that's where I met him, was apparently when he was on the run. He moved to California, and that's when I met him, and he had a like a board and train type of thing where he would, take on these animals, and he would that with behavioral issues, and he would, train them, board them at his facility that was in Acton, and a lot of property out there. And so when
Show
we
the,
found
you have
out,
the picture?
yeah,
This is getting juicy.
yeah, so when we found out, I believe it was like 2020, maybe,
Yeah,
that
in 2020, I think. Yeah.
we
So
found out.
technically 16 years after the murders.
So this is a picture of me with one of his dogs.
Aw, your baby.
This dog was actually, when he was arrested, they put out a plea to people that knew him to take his dogs. So a friend of mine had her, and she was just the sweetest thing ever. And then this is him and I at an event it was called Pits and Giggles.
Yeah, that's him. That's him, all right.
Yeah, so so obviously
crazy.
when I saw the picture and I read the thing, and then it was literally that day that he was sentenced to 15 and a half years for
Animal cruelty.
I mean, the charges are just off the chart. Like,
people in the dog saving rescue and came out and spoke out against him. Veterinarians, but that he was a master manipulator, that they have these really horrible things to say about him. But the most, like, it's not like it's Graham, but we've always joked with Gina, if anybody knows a serial killer, Gina would be the one.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it just blew our minds when they sent that picture, and she's like, Shannon, here's a photo of me with this guy. Like, that's just crazy. That he's their number one suspect right now. The FBI has been talking to him. He claims his fingerprints got in her car because he gave her that CD.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But here's the thing. So there's a gentleman named James Renner, who is the person that put out this first podcast and that kind of broke the news about Stefan being, named a number one suspect.
Yeah.
So
he's a big guy on it. He wrote a whole book on Maura Murray.
The whole case.
Yeah, he wrote about the whole entire case and everything. And against the family does not like him very much because of some of his theories.
Yeah, they don't really align with the family's theories. So this man is the person that kind of put that out there. And so he went to the courthouse the day of Stefan's sentencing to speak with him. And Stefan claims that he didn't know about her, this whole case, which I don't believe for a hot second.
Thank you.
And he said that once he found out, he didn't really look into it or pay any mind to it, which to me is like, if you dated somebody casually or seriously or whatever the case may be, if you dated somebody and all of a sudden they go missing and they're like blasted all over your TV, you mean to tell me you're not going to look into it? I mean, that's human nature. Like, you just...
I can tell you from a man's point, if I had one of my ex-girlfriends murdered or missing, I'm all over that.
I'd be all over it if you went missing, okay? So I'm like, friends, like anybody, we'd be all over it. We'd be like, we'd want to help out. And to just ignore the fact and kind of just dive and disappear into doing something completely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that sounds like he's separating himself away from her, trying
Mhm.
to, oh yeah, we don't date. I haven't seen her in forever. That's one of those like from that channel Deceptive Detective. It's right at the ballpark, like you said. He's like, I don't know. I haven't really paid attention.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet my bottom dollar that this is the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he kind of says, you know, oh, he wrote a letter saying, you know, to the FBI, like, oh, I think that this person might be somebody that you should look into, somebody named Chris, but I can't remember the last name. So
I
now,
just know he knows he was a 5th-year student.
yeah.
He was like above them in a grade level at West Point at the time they went. So he's trying to throw out other names,
Yeah.
which is very common when you're guilty to like,
But
don't
what
look
I
over
did
here.
Mm.
Yeah.
about the fingerprint is this whole fingerprint thing. So obviously when you're arrested, your fingerprints get put into AFIS, whatever.
Yep.
That's where they made the connection because he was fingerprinted and it
Oh.
came up. However, he being Stephen Baldwin,
Mm-hmm.
is the one that said his fingerprint was found on a CD. We don't know if that's the case.
We don't know where it was
It was
found.
in her car somewhere. It could have been on a seat, on the window.
Oh, the police didn't say where they found it.
No, he said it was on a CD. So
heck, if he was in the car, it could have been on the door handle.
It could have been
anywhere. Could have been
we
on
don't
her
know
neck.
if it was inside the car, outside the car.
Well,
but they did when they went through her car, there was a list of stuff that was taken from her car. And I went back and I looked, and there were no CDs on the.
We looked on that list. Yeah. I told her, I said,
that-
I looked on that list. I did not see anything say that there was a CD listed in that vehicle.
so they inventory what was inside the car.
Yeah.
No CDs. So
Yeah.
it obviously means it was found somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, there was a bunch of stuff, allergy medication, and, you know, just stuff that you have in your car.
Mhm.
And obviously when her car was found, they did an inventory. They made a whole list of stuff that was found. Nowhere on that list. That doesn't mean that there wasn't CDs in there, but it wasn't on that list.
And her car is still sitting at an impound.
Yeah.
In the police impound. Yeah.
After all this year.
Yeah. Well, up until the documentaries made a couple years ago, they went to go visit it in the impound. So up until that point, as far as we know, it's still in there. Yeah.
So the police they said that he's the number one suspect,
and they said that he has been the number one suspect. Apparently, according to the detective on the case,
they've been looking at him for a while,
but they had no ties. They had no reason. Now that this whole fingerprint thing has come about, now I think this is, you know,
I think they had some kind of inkling because of the Stefan and the Stephanus, whatever that the name is that he gave at a party. But he claimed that there was, he's never been that far north.
Yeah. He said that Vermont is the furthest north he's ever been. He's never been there.
You know,
and
yeah, that's for this.
He said, so he was married. He's been married twice, but his first wife, who he was married to in 2004, apparently at some point said that he was not in New Hampshire. He was living here in California at the time of her disappearance. But I mean, that would be like an easy way to either
throw him out,
exclude him, or to, I mean, but who knows? Like, that was just her saying something. But if they could find something that placed him in that vicinity in around that time, because as far as I knew, I didn't know him until 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
This
so
is
13 years
2004.
After.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, yeah, I live here in California, but yeah, my ass went to Wisconsin at some point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people travel. It doesn't
I
matter.
mean, I've heard of people driving 7 hours to go meet their new girlfriend that they met on TikTok. I mean,
Yeah.
it's possible. The thing is, like you said, she was at West Point at one time with him.
Mhm.
What I'm trying to think is when she got the car, is if she got the car and if he was like sitting in the car, but if she had this car this entire time, or
There's a lot of speculation because um they retraced the route that she took that day. And if you watch the documentary on
oh,
Oxygen,
I'm gonna watch it
one
tonight.
of the girls, yeah, one of the girls retraced the route. And it's funny because they never bring this guy up as
No.
boyfriend, dated, nothing in this documentary, that which is so strange.
Of course.
But they but things are always changing. But they retrace the route and they think at some point, no matter how they went, there was like this gap of time missing.
Mhm.
And they're thinking that either she pulled off to visit somebody, she stopped. Why is there a gap of time missing from the time she left from getting the money out of the bank and driving? There's this gap of time to that snowbank.
And she took all her money out of the bank.
Yeah, she
It
left less than
was only
$20.
like $300 or $400. It wasn't, a lot of money, but she pulled all her money out of the bank.
Unless she was, as a theory, and I don't want, I hope the family is not watching this thinking I'm a bad guy for me putting my theory in, but I'm just like, what if she took all her money out because somebody threatened to say, hey, I have some information on you, or I have a picture of you, aka Stephen Baldwin. I'm going
Right.
to release it if you don't pay this ransom. Could be, or could not be.
Yeah, I
But
mean, you don't know, but at the same time, I told Shannon, I said, if you look back at all serial killers, it starts with animals.
that's what I was going to say. I wanted to hear what you thought, and if you ever got the bad vibe from
I
him.
didn't. So I didn't, but again, like I was around him at events where he had to shine. He had to to put his pretty face on. He had to,
Put on a persona.
be Stephen Baldwin, the animal rescuer, I'm the savior. I'm here to, rehabilitate your dog, to make everything wonderful for you. But there are some certain things that stick out. One being that his mother has been missing for 2 years and nobody knows.
Oh, have mercy.
I believe 2 of his girlfriends have died.
What?
Yeah, not murdered, but
Oh, natural causes. Okay.
but I mean,
Who knows?
It's just a little.
What about the current boyfriend at the time?
Mhm.
What did he say? Did he say, here, take my cell phone, here, take my stuff?
He's the one who, he's
Yeah.
the one who actually, no, her cell phone was left behind because he's the one who actually was able to break
Yes,
into her
get
cell
into
phone.
it.
Yeah, he was actually the one to get into her cell phone to find out that she was at this party and that she did meet up with this guy named Stephanus or
It
whatever.
was on a message board or something like
It was during like
message
MySpace or
something like that.
something like that.
And
that it
he was very
yeah.
forthcoming. He was very willing to talk, to
help.
Yeah.
He's the one who actually, got into the messages, found out, because she actually disappeared like just a few months before Facebook was actually launched. So we were still using MySpace during this time. She was one of the very first, they're saying, cases that went kind of on Facebook, to announce like, hey, look for, my sister, she's missing, look for my daughter, however it was the first time. But it was during that whole time where MySpace was fading out, Facebook was coming into play. And the current boyfriend at the time, my thought is you find out that your boyfriend cheated on you, and and the boyfriend before him, you give him a call, kind of, oh man, start bitching about, what's going on or whatever. or, you know, he happens to call you during this time, whatever the case may be. Hey, why don't we meet up? Hey, you know,
Hey, I'll come to you.
I'll come to you. Yeah, like I'll be there for you. And then she goes to a party with this guy. And then, you know, she starts packing all her stuff because she was actually, there was some theories that she was pregnant, but she wasn't, because she was a nursing student and she was doing an assignment. And one of the friends came out. Yes, they were doing an assignment on neonatal and things like that, on pregnancies and maternity. So she was looking up her homework assignment right before she went missing. And then she started looking up like places that she visited with her family in New Hampshire. So some of the places she looked up, she didn't reserve them, but she was looking them up. So I'm wondering if, you know, this guy said, hey, let's go do something this weekend to get away, you know, for the
Yeah.
weekend or whatever. And I'll
So
meet
they
you
caught
here or there, you know.
Did they catch him in California with all the deceased animals, or how did? Like,
yes,
okay.
he was, yeah, that's where he was caught again, because they started to, you know, catch on to things in Ohio, and then that's when he moved to California.
And then he got a warrant, and then they took him back from California to Ohio.
They extradited him back.
Yeah.
So but you know, it's I just, with everything kind of surrounding it, I feel like, you know, there's 7 minutes that is not accounted for, like 5 to 7 minutes. Let's just say it was 5 minutes. You think like, oh, 5 minutes is nothing. But if you sit there and put a timer for 5 minutes,
it can last forever.
A lot of stuff could happen in 5 minutes.
Well, I would think though, it's a short enough time though. Like to me, I'm like, obviously she knew the person who came by.
Exactly.
She wouldn't go with the bus driver. She didn't want to go with him. Wouldn't you think that she would go with the first guy who, like, not because, you know, these are strangers, but if she wouldn't go with the first stranger, why would she go with the second stranger?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she would still be there if the second person who came by was not a stranger.
Yeah.
So maybe, so theory is that she was meeting up with somebody,
Yeah,
and maybe
I feel like she went
in their
willingly.
car, and she went willingly in the car with somebody she knew. Like, so.
And they've searched literally everywhere, like all that was all covered in snow, obviously, because she hit a
Yeah.
but that whole area like surrounding was all searched. It was, I mean, her, like I said, her family, especially her sister, has been very, very involved in the search for her, and still today is very active on TikTok and on.
And her family is still in New Hampshire?
No, they weren't
Or
in
where?
New Hampshire. The family lives, you know what, to be honest, I don't know where the family lives, but I think, I don't know where the family lives, to be honest with you. I don't know where they're from.
Because she was going to school in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, but I don't know, but she had come from, you know, what was it? West Point. So I don't know if the family,
I'm not sure
in New York.
if she was like born and raised around there, or.
but the thing is and another theory is that she took off willingly, and there were, and I do have to say, there were some people, some witnesses who claimed that yes, they did see her around that same time up in Canada. Some people came forward and said that it was definitely her in that area, but the family doesn't believe it, and I honestly don't believe it either, because they were saying like, would she allow somebody, you know, to be in trouble, you know, to go to jail or being accused of her demise if she wasn't really gone?
But you can't tell me after almost 21 years, if she was still alive and she wanted to reset, there's no part of her that would say, hey, what are my parents doing?
Yeah.
What am I, like, did they have a good relationship? Did they have a bond that couldn't be unbroken? I mean,
yeah, there was that's why they're not a big fan of Renner. If you go back and read his book and his theory, that no, they didn't. That the dad was very controlling and domineering is his point of view. But his the sister Julie, she says, no, that's not true. We wanted to always make our father proud of us, but he wasn't
So
that
he's a strict
type.
dad.
But he
Okay.
would go running with them. He would go out on runs with them and stuff. And yeah, Renner was trying to paint a picture that it was a home that she'd want to run away from. But that's why there's a huge falling out between Renner and that family. Not a falling out, but just never a.
I don't like you guys said, I don't think this is hey, I'm gonna grab my $400 and run to Canada with
No.
God knows who.
Get away
I don't
from my
see that.
Yeah.
If
And she ended right before, at one point she had spent $40 on alcohol, at a liquor store. The liquor store said that she was there with actually 2 other girls that she remembers her being there with.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many different stories and theories. So they're like, who are these 2 other girls that she supposedly was with? And these 2 girls have never come forward. So they're thinking that they mistake, her being with these 2 other girls as maybe another set of 3 other girls who came in and got alcohol as well. But who knows?
Or if there was a party that she went to with these 2 other girls and those girls went missing too, and that's why they've never come forward. But
who knows, right?
I mean, I definitely want to find her, but after 21 years?
Yeah. I mean, you just figure if somebody at that point has been on the run or, was trying to like change their whole identity, at some point you would reach out to your family or your sister. I mean, because I don't get the feeling that she came from a bad home. I don't.
No.
Yeah, she was close with her sister. They were only 2.5 years apart.
Yeah.
I see that her parents did divorce when she was 6, but that's it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, parents do all the time.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily mean, that she's trying to run away and find a new home. And yeah, I think sometimes,
And like you said, Gina, the man himself has murdered so many pets or so many animals. And like you said, serial killers start with animals and they work themselves up.
And I don't believe he did it in a very humane way. It wasn't that he was euthanizing them the proper way.
Yeah. It was grotesque.
He was killing them. Yeah.
Oh my God.
What did he do with all their bodies?
Yeah.
So it's a terrible story. And like I told you, and it's just like, be careful what you wish for, because it's like, now to look back, like, man, like everybody was in a dangerous situation being around this guy.
I mean, it could have been you.
Exactly. Like it's wild. It could have been any of us,
Had he like, how long did you know him?
I'm sorry, my dog is like,
no, it's okay. My dog does that too, and she's 13, so she just makes noises.
It's because Blue hears my voice and he's like, where has she been?
I hear her. Where the heck?
Where is she? I haven't seen her.
I mean, I'm looking at all these pictures and I'm looking at the ATM machine and I'm just
hold on, let me get him.
And she looks like she's not in, like, looking at her picture in the ATM machine, she looks kind of distraught.
Yeah, it is true. She doesn't look, and it took them a while to even release that video. Like at first the police were holding on to it. So
until they probably got leads, and I would I mean, the guy is not going anywhere. They know where he's going to be at for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he only got that, because I've heard of people killing animals and they get life.
Yeah. And for the amount that he did kill, I think he should have.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But what's to say that they can't say, hey, we want to rule you out as a suspect. Can we ask you 4 questions on a polygraph? I mean, you can't use it in court, but it can give you a baseline at like his deception, if he's like a bad liar or if he's a good liar or what have you. But I mean, looking at his picture, it doesn't seem like he knows what like to do. Like he just seems like a kind of normal guy, but with a dark behind.
There's so this listener Pressy sent a picture that I guess, let me see.
She's on it. She's our investigative detective.
So years ago, Julie Murray posted this picture of a guy who was talking to Maura on AOL Instant Messenger and was at UMass with her. Julie talked to this guy via AOL Instant Messenger and said that he had been to UMass. So here, you're not going to be able to see anything.
Okay.
But if you look over to the side, there is somebody in a white t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
Yep, I see it.
You see that it's been blurred out, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so if you notice, his arm is also blurred out.
Yep.
Because there's a
tattoos.
Because he's fully sleeved, just like I am.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you look at the guy's body structure, it looks like him.
It looks like
a party that night at the UMass party.
Yeah.
And what if this Stefano was actually Stefan?
No, that's what they're saying. That's the connection they're trying. That's what they're saying, because people didn't really, because people were giving their account and they were trying to remember his name because he didn't go to UMass. So they were trying to remember, like, who is she there with? I think his name was something like Stefanos
or something.
Something like
and
that.
They were probably all drunk, so they're probably trying to remember when they were intoxicated.
Well, and who knows if that's a name that he might have given.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's, hey, I'm Stefano, just tweaking your name a little bit.
Yeah. So there's just, for me, there's just a few too many connections there to omit him.
Had his ex-wife said anything about him being like abusive or violent?
A lot of his past people in relationships that he's been in relationships have come out and said that he was very physically abusive, verbally abusive. Yeah, he was not the person that he portrayed himself to be in the dog world. So,
and you know how you said that she was not boyfriend girlfriend with him, but after her feng shui with him, how soon did she get with new boyfriend?
You know what?
I think it was fairly close.
And
so what if he got pissed? It was like, how could you do this? You never gave me a chance, but now you're going to give this guy a chance?
And I think there's a little bit more to it too, because when they were, because we didn't really dive into it, but when they were at West Point, she was put in front of a board because she got caught, and it's going to sound bad, but she got caught stealing at Fort Knox, but it was because she went into the gift shop at Fort Knox and stole like a pen or something.
Yeah.
So so they put her in front of like some kind of disciplinary committee.
Yep.
And then also and it wasn't just for that too. She also was found drunk on campus out in front, laying in front of the dorms asleep. She was passed out.
She was making some bad decisions.
Yeah.
She made a few bad decisions. She was a young kid partying.
21.
And so, and her friends left her there. And he claims that he was one of the only friends that went in her defense when she was in front of this disciplinarian board. And after she was kicked out of West Point, he left not very long after.
Not very long after.
Like a month or two after she left. Like not very long after, he actually decided to leave West Point too, after she left.
I feel that he has an addiction to her.
Yeah, there's something there.
Obsession.
Weird connection.
Yeah, there's a connection. So it's just too many coincidences.
And he's probably to the point where if I can't have her, nobody can.
Yeah, I hope that now that he's incarcerated, that they will, take this 15 and a half years to really, really put their all into this case.
Yep.
And hopefully get some answers, whether it's him or it's somebody else. But I mean, I feel for the family because, it's one thing having something traumatic like this happen, but it's another thing not ever having a body.
Yeah.
A closure. They don't have closure.
Yeah, not knowing, is she still alive? Is she still out there? At least if they have a body, then it's like, okay, we can
Grieve.
you know, get over this next hump. But it's like, you have to think, like, every time they're out in public, they're probably looking for her, you know? Yeah.
The what ifs. What does she look like? I mean, she would be 42 now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she would be obviously a lot older, probably a little bit of wrinkles. But at the same time, like you said, you want to have a body to either mourn, grieve, and bury. They can't do that because they don't even know if she's alive or gone.
Yeah. They don't know what happened. They don't know where she is. And just because you find a body doesn't really necessarily mean you're going to get those answers, like what happened. But at least you know, like, okay, she's no longer with us and we can take the next step, you know?
Yeah. Which I think would be, if just throwing my son into the equation, if my son went missing, I would be on a whole next level of trying to find him, probably like their parents tried to do.
Living 20 years of your life like that?
Yeah, and then not knowing if my son is gone or if he's still here. I mean, that would be insane.
Yeah, it's another type of torture for sure.
Have they said anything of what they think?
The parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't think they think something happened to her.
Something happened to her, yeah. That
They
she
think
was
she's deceased.
abducted, or she was taken
they don't think
obviously against her will. They don't think that she took off and ran to get away from anything. No.
She was coerced to taking her money out, leaving. So she wasn't like, hey, I'm going on vacation.
And honestly,
they honestly, they think that maybe she was planning to spend a weekend out on her own, like, you know, to get away because of the nursing was very intense, her studies. But they do think something happened out on the road. So it's whether, I don't know if they necessarily believe that she left unwillingly from her dorms, but they do definitely think something from the point when her car hit the snowbank and after, something happened to her. So, yeah. And they've already,
go ahead.
I was going to say, they already ruled out the school bus driver. They ruled out the other people and the neighbors that were around there. So,
or what if he was there in the car? They had a fight. I don't know. I'm just. Now you guys got me on this case now.
Yeah, you don't know.
You never know.
Don't know.
So it's definitely something that we're still going to be watching and keeping an eye out for, especially because it blew our mind that Gina had a connection to this guy. So yeah, so we wanted.
Where is he incarcerated?
That I don't. Let me.
Yeah. Where is he?
I was wondering if, like, hey Gina, could you do your friend kind of, hey, I'm gonna write him and say, hey, how's things been besides getting incarcerated?
Right.
Pen pal him and send him the picture. Pretend like you're supportive of him. Pretend like you're being supportive and see if he spills anything. That's crazy.
That'd be insane, though. What are the odds that would?
Some kind of pen pal thing. So
interesting.
I'm on your side.
It says that he's not currently incarcerated, so apparently they haven't updated anything.
I see that on her image. I don't know if it's the lighting, but it looks like her eye on her right side is like bruised.
Oh, I never noticed on a picture.
I'm looking at it and it's just like her right eye is like really dark. I just don't know if it's the lighting or if like she was abused.
Which picture is it?
It's when she's in the ATM machine.
Oh.
Huh. Like it's dark. I'm just trying to figure out if it's like the lighting or
I wonder if they can get a better picture, like with some kind of more better enhancing video equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they're doing that right now for the Jennifer Kessie case. They're they sent the video to the FBI to enhance video of the last known person to see.
Yeah, that's another case that I am involved in.
Oh,
Gina has a connection to.
Yeah, a teacher that I work with, that was her best friend in college that went missing.
Jennifer Kessie in Florida.
So many people that are missing, and
Oh, it's insane. The amount of missing people is just.
How do you just disappear off the face of this earth with no one knowing what happened to you? It's just crazy. But
I have a feeling that Stefan knows more than he's saying.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they do get him to talk. So what did you want to share with us? I know there was something that you wanted.
I know there's that image and that clip of Nicole Kessinger going around.
Which clip is this? I would probably have to look this up.
You could type in pretty much 2025 Nicole Kessinger and you'll see it. She was in a.
I mean, it's clear as day. It's a video that was just recently taken.
And I put the pictures right next to each other, and I have no doubt it's her. Yeah, okay, she put on some weight. Who cares? I mean, I put on weight and I'm 36. I'm the same age as her.
Yeah, no, it's definitely without a doubt her.
But then like people were like, "Oh, we found her." Like, okay, what do you want us to do? Like, we can't do anything about it because the DA is the one that has to do it.
Right.
So great, we know where she is, what she looks like, which again, you guys, I did show you that picture in confidence. Because I just wanted to have somebody on my side, and people don't believe me.
Yeah.
People don't believe that I have images of Nicole Kessinger, and I just wanted to.
Yes, yes, he does.
They're like, Zowoki's lying. I'm like, I'm not lying. And the person that told me they don't want me to show it because of obviously reasons that they don't, it's in their home.
Of course.
And so forth. So, but what do you guys think of the image that just came about?
The one in the church?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel it's her. 1,000%.
I like to know what Shannon thinks.
I can't even find it. I'm trying to see where it is.
It was like a video clip taken at a funeral.
It was like 15 seconds. Somebody told me
walking towards the camera.
She doesn't even know that she's being recorded.
No.
Somebody said that she looks right at the camera. She don't look at the camera. She doesn't even know that it. No. But I'd like to know who released the image.
I had to hit videos, not images. Sorry, guys. Oh. Yes, let me see.
The eyebrows, the nose, the jawline. It's her.
Yeah, I see that.
No, it's definitely her. I don't know.
When she gets pudgy, she looks like her what is it? Her booking, the one where they have her in the orange jumpsuit. Her
when she was younger, with her dogs, she was a little pudgy back then. It looks exactly like her.
No, it absolutely does. I mean, her hair hasn't changed. But
then that for me
changed.
That means that it was a family friend. I know who it is. I just don't want to say it just for confidence.
What state? Like, where is this at?
She was in Billings, Montana.
Oh.
And January 16th.
Okay.
So it was creepy that she was closer to me. Gross. But it's just the fact that she looks exactly like she used to, just a little bit thicker, leaves me to believe that she's never been in witness protection program.
No.
Because they would have changed her look.
Everything.
Why are they saying with no wedding ring on that one? Because I didn't hear about her getting married. I just know she had those boyfriends or whatever.
She's got boyfriends. She doesn't have children.
She never got married.
Okay, so I want to ask you something because I have been stumbling and I don't know how I got onto this on TikTok. I've seen multiple TikToks saying that she had Chris Watts's baby February 18th.
Of 2019?
Correct.
But she was not even showing. She would have showed at least a little bit in August, wouldn't she have? August, September, October, November, December, January, February.
No.
So if she was due in February, she would have been showing.
August, September, October, November. No, not in August.
No, not at all.
So
that would have been 7 months.
So she would have only been 3 months pregnant.
Yeah.
So
They
the
show
size of the baby would have been like a grapefruit, right?
a pea.
Yeah, but I mean,
At 3 months,
yeah, you're not.
Like
Yeah, they're little.
like a cherry. Yeah, 3 months is 12. She would only been like 3 months pregnant. If even that, because if she was pregnant in August, they barely met in June, July, August. She would have only been about 8 weeks pregnant. Well, supposedly they only started dating in June. So
Yeah. And
I don't know. The image that I got
where
in
this-
2022, she never had kids.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I don't think she
know
ever had kids either. So
where this lady, is getting information or whatever, but I've seen her multiple times on TikTok saying,
I wonder where she's getting that information.
Nicole Kessinger.
Well, because the picture that I had, or I have, it shows that she filled out some paperwork in 2022. And in that documents, it asks, do you have children at home?
Mm-hmm.
She circles no.
Mm.
And that was in 2022.
Yeah.
And her name that she put on the document is Nicole Kessinger.
Yeah.
Well, and it appears to be that she is living her life. Like she doesn't
Like
seem
nothing happened.
hiding,
Oh.
out doing her thing. So I don't know.
But that's the thing too. It's like, great, we know where she is, what she looks like, but is that going to do anything?
No, like what do you do with that? You can't do anything with it, unfortunately.
It's like seeing Chris in 2025. Great, we see what he looks like. He's he's terrible. But now what do you want us to do with it? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's one reason why I haven't showed the picture that I have, is because one, the person told me not to show it. And two, what would it do?
Yeah. It is one of the most frustrating cases because nothing's gonna get done. So yeah, it's like, it's very frustrating. Nothing can be done, but
unless a new DA decides to take it on, because DA Rourke's in there for another 4 years.
Yeah.
I just think we need to get her on the phone and put her on our podcast right here.
Amen. If she's watching, we would love to have you on here. I'll even pay you.
We just have like just a few questions. That's it.
You know what? We will hear your side. Like I will honestly
I won't even ask you questions. We'll just let you talk.
We'll just let you talk. Shoot.
Talk.
Yeah.
And I'll even pay her money to come on.
No, we're like... So
yeah.
No, so
I don't know.
That's another crazy one too. So
I just want to get your guys' part on it.
That looked like her. And just for the record, for all those naysayers out there, yep, he has the photos.
For sure. Yeah,
we have the video. It's just, we have the voice. We heard the phone call.
Yeah.
Like it just, So, I mean, because if they're calling you a liar, like we'd have to be liars too, because we were on that episode with you talking about it.
Exactly.
And it's like, even if I even showed it, let's say, people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's AI, that's fake."
Exactly.
It's like, why even bother? I mean,
don't worry. Yeah, like we know, so whatever. But and your fans know. So
it's just all I have to do is impress myself.
Yeah, for sure. But no, awesome. No, thank you for coming on with us. I know we called you last minute, but we wanted to share this with you and just like get your take on it. We just thought it was crazy because I know a few times when we've been on with you, we've said like, Gina, she's going to be the one who knows the serial killer. She knows the murderer.
She knows an animal killer, but I'm almost betting my bottom dollar that this is the guy that saw her last.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure. I think so too. So
so I would love to hear after you watch the Oxygen documentary your thoughts.
I will definitely let you know because I'll probably watch it after we get off here, and I'll probably sit down with a nice tea and watch it.
Yes, definitely. So
well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much. It was good seeing you again.
As you guys are.
We'll do this again soon. Thank you for everybody.
Another case.
Go follow Zowoki if you're not already following him. Please go follow him. We have him to thank for the majority of our subscribers.
You guys got him too.
No, you gave us that bump that we needed. So
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Well, if you could tell people that I help other channels and people are like, no, you don't. It's like,
Nope,
I
No,
try to help everybody.
no,
you do.
he absolutely helped us. You know, we're a small channel. We only post once a week. But yes, after he reacted to our video, we did a collab with him, and you know, it was
They have lives, so they can't do it as much as I do.
it
Yeah.
was yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely got a lot of subscribers from you. So
So
we're
thank
very
you.
grateful for that. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well,
So-
hopefully we'll talk to you soon and we'll do this again. Talk
Amen.
face to face, and hopefully it's not because Gina knows the killer. Just
Yeah.
okay.
Next video bomb drop.
Thank-
Stefan was the murderer and Gina was
you.
around him.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.